Good morning. Today is Friday, and we talk about something that should be of interest to you, your friends, your families, your children. And the most important thing is to be successful, to be able to reach your goal, possibly, and exceed your goal desirably. The whole word, as a matter of fact, assumes that only the exceptional people who are successful. There's only a select few who are able to reach their goals. The reality is not so. The reality is more different. The reality is that everybody, each one of you, has capacity, an inborn capacity to reach your goal. Just you need a certain discipline, a certain attitude. And the first thing is that you should have faith in yourself. If you have faith in yourself and you have a set goal, there is no reason why you should not reach it. Apparently, most of us set goals which are not very ambitious, and that is a problem. Set an ambitious goal and you would find, provided you have a certain discipline, as I said earlier, be able to reach the goal. Today we talk of reaching your goal, and I'll give you just 3 suggestions. And the first thing which I'm going to tell you is be kind to yourself. Don't be cruel to yourself. Don't degrade yourself. Do not consider yourself inferior to any other human being. And be kind. Don't torture yourself, either physically or mentally or psychologically. You see, the whole world is a mirror. You get what you think yourself to be. If you're kind to yourself, the whole world would be kind to you. And now when you're kind to yourself, your mindset changes from a fixed mindset to growth mindset. Now, fixed mindset is that you say that you are born poor, so it's difficult to get out of the poverty. You are sick, so you cannot have a healthy life. That doesn't help. That's a fixed mindset. You have got a certain attitude which is unalterable, unchangeable. Convert into a growth mindset. I can do it. It's possible. So when you're kind and you have a growth mindset, you have achieved the first hurdle. And I'll give you an example. I was at a walk the other day. It was a 5-kilometer walk. And people were going at a very ambling speed, and I walked right ahead. I completed the walk in about 30 minutes, 5-kilometer walk. Not that I'm a good walker. Let me tell you, I have not walked for about 6 months. And somebody asked me, he says, how come that you are walking so fast? You are ahead. And my response was natural. I didn't think about it. It was just an automatic natural response. Well, nobody can be ahead of me. And I was there. Now, this is a fact that when I started, I had no idea of doing that. But my mindset being growth oriented, my mind tended to be growth mindset. I thought, okay, if I'm going to walk, I must be number 1. Otherwise, I might as well not walk. Now, this is just one example, but the similar examples can be multiplied. You know Helen Keller, she was blind. And she did not let blindness tie her down. You know Mozart, the famous musician, he was deaf. So physical inabilities or even mental challenges are something which you shouldn't bother. Do you know, by the way, that Einstein was traveling in a bus and the bus conductor asked for the money for the ticket. He gave him the money and the conductor said, well, you're giving me much more. The poor man could not count properly. He was a genius. But and the same person who could not count properly got or gave us the theory of relativity. Imagine it. So you have to be kind to yourself and as well as adopt a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. Once you are able to do these two things, learn how to be kind to yourself. I'm not saying ignore your foibles, ignore your weaknesses. Take care of your weakness. Have an audit of your capabilities and your weakness. And then set about removing those weaknesses. This is the most important thing. This is the major first hurdle. People do not audit their capabilities. We set up an organization and we have a SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. But when we are talking about ourselves, we never do that. You have to conduct a SWOT analysis of your capabilities. Identify your strengths, build upon them. Identify your weaknesses, remove them. Identify the opportunities, exploit them. Identify your threats, face them, overcome them. So, after you have done the SWOT analysis and overcome them, then you start being kind to yourselves and a gratification. Well, I have overcome this weakness, I have overcome Y weakness, I have overcome Z weakness. Pat yourself on the back and then start your journey that you are going to do this, you are going to go ahead, you are going to go further. And the second step automatically follows. Keep the company, proper company that synchronizes with your goals. A man is known by the company he keeps, so is a woman. You are in company with a do no gooders and you are in no gooder. You want to be a writer, be in the company of writers. You want to be a politician, be in the company of politicians. A crow, if he joins hawks, would be plucked. A hawk, if he joins sparrows, whatever they may be, would laugh at him and after pecking at some of the sparrows, he'll fly away. You have to go in the company, create one group, a sport group. When you interact in that company, you are exposed to new ideas which relate to your goal. And I'm not saying that you cannot have subgroups. You can have 20 goals and you can have 20 subgroups. It's not necessary that you confine yourself to one group. But it is very important to interact with the people in the group in which you want to excel. One is that you are exposed to new ideas. B is you have a target. Okay, X is able to do that. My goal is to exceed that. When you are in a community, when you are in a company, you automatically, whether you like it or you don't like it, set goals. That desire to expel, the competitive spirit takes in. You are, simple, playing the game of singing, what they call in Hindi, Antakshya, whatever. Okay. So you want to sing more and better and come up with a new songs and those ones which others cannot compete with. This is a simple example. You are in company with a physicist and you want to come up with a new ideas. You want to come up with a new explanations of the physical phenomena, of the principles of physics, of the applicability of the physics principles to the other disciplines. As I was talking to you the other day, the new discipline of econophysics has come up because of that. So, the first is be kind to yourself with a growth mindset. And the second one is keep the company. Company both as a support group and as a sign or as a benchmark which you have got to excel. That's extremely important. And third is have an identifiable goal. Unless you have a clear-cut identifiable goal, you can neither have a growth mindset geared to that goal, nor you can have a company. So as a matter of fact, that should be the first thing. And I'm not saying it should be attainable. If it's attainable and you attain it, then you may have no reason to work further. Make it as hard as possible. The tougher the goal, the better it is for you. And in case you cannot achieve it, don't be disheartened because you have a growth mindset. Now, let's not forget that was the first principle, a growth mindset. So, if the going gets tough, you are going to be tougher. And the unattainable goal slowly, steadily becomes attainable. I remember that girl Shreya, my goddaughter. She had a dream since she was the age of 9 to climb Mount Everest. She married, but she didn't have family because she wanted to climb Mount Everest. She went there and she was absolutely exhausted. But she kept on, and 2-3 hours before she reached the top, she called me up. And she said, I'm nearing the top, but I don't know whether I'll come back and see you or not. I'm so exhausted I might die. I said, look here. People who are successful never die. They live in the memories. So don't bother. Go ahead. Conquer the world. Conquer the Mount Everest. And she did. And coming back, she died. Now that shows the grit. Her association with me or my association with her had instilled in her a steely determination to be successful. And she was disciplining herself all the way. So, success is not something which is not attainable. You have to pay a price for that. And be prepared to pay a price. Because until and unless you are prepared to pay a price, you cannot be successful. Now come to the thing. So we understand that after you have identified the goal, you have got to be learning. Now, this is a very complex thing. Normally, it's a cultural problem with some of the people. In South Asian culture, it's presumed to be infra-dig. It's presumed to be bad to be kind to yourself. All this religions and all your teachers and the parents are saying, don't be proud, don't pity yourself. I don't say pity yourself, but be kind to yourself and recognize your capabilities. Unfortunately, in our culture, we are told not to be kind to ourselves, which is bad. Be kind to yourself. Have a growth mindset. When the people say be contented, don't be contented. If you're contented, you will not reach the goal. I always say, be a discontented Socrates, then be a contented pig. Don't be a contented pig. Identify the people with whom you can relate and who can be your benchmark. If you relate to the people who are lower than you are, if you relate to I'm not saying don't relate to them because you learn from them as well, but your benchmark should be the people who have done much more than you have done. You are a student in a class, you would find a teacher who is more capable. Say that you would be going to be better than that teacher. Have a benchmark, have a standard, and cross that. And you will cross that provided you have a growth mindset. So after being kind, having growth mindset, having a proper benchmark, being in a company that you are with a fixed aim, there is no reason why you should fail. And reaching your goal should not be the end. Crossing the goal and then setting up a new goal. You run a marathon of 5 kilometers, then aim for 10 kilometers, then aim for 15 kilometers. You aim to do your master's, then do your doctorate and postdoctorate. Do you want to be a millionaire? Be a millionaire, then be a billionaire. Want to have X amount? Then have Y amount. But don't have double the loves in your personal life. The sports system always integrates your personality, your background, your mindset, and your effort. Effort comes from your growth mindset, and it also is geared to achieving your goals. So if you want to be successful, these are the three basic essentials. Follow them, and believe me, you will reach your goals sooner than you expect them to be achieved. It's not difficult. What is difficult is we don't care or we do not adopt appropriate measures. As I said, we have to cut the binds of culture, of religion, of our thought which has been imposed on us. And once you are a free bird, free-ranging bird, flocking together, trying to lead, how is possible even to imagine that you will not be successful? So, friends, young and old, starting today, find your goal. Change your fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Start being kind to yourself. Find a company that promotes you, your thoughts, your vision. Make your vision wider. Cross it. Set your goals seemingly unattainable. Attain them and then go ahead to the next goal. On and on. Progress is yours. Success is yours. Have a nice day.